What's up, locals? Well, I am stoked today. We got our hands on one of those brand new Glow Eclipse 2.0 Glow glitches. And after watching TK Disc Golf's review of this disc, I am super excited. I love that video. He talked about, you know, if you don't have perfect form, a glitch. I have one of those as well here. Shout out to Dies by Craig for hooking us up with this local disc golf dyed glitch. But the thing about the glitch is it can be a little bit touchy and it's not very forgiving if your form isn't perfect. And that would be me. And anyway, what TK said was that these are a little bit forgiving, which is why I was chasing one in the first place. And after I got mine, I found his video and I was so excited to see that his review was that these actually have a little bit of stability to them and not overstable by any means, but they'll like hold a line and they should theoretically offset those imperfections. So I'm stoked for that. This one is 158 grams. I know some people are posting about 162. I am kind of pursuing one of those too. I don't imagine there's a massive difference in 4 grams, but most glitches are in that sort of like 145 to I think about 155 typically. So 158 to 162 means that these are going to have a little bit more stability theoretically. Not to mention Eclipse 2.0 plastic is that as well. So I wanted to put this up against my original glitch as well as the Watt. Most of you likely know the Watt by this point, but if you don't, it is a 2.5 negative 0.5 0.5. So, but a lot of people are kind of referring to this almost like a max weight glitch. So we're gonna give this a throw today too, see how it compares. And I am sort of beyond excited to give these 3 discs a go and really excited to throw this. So shout out to TK and yeah, let's get into it. These are gonna probably feel a little bit more stiff as it is a colder day here today. I think it's feeling like -3. Oh, I mean, that one's still got a ton of flex. Let's see how, like, oh, you know what, actually, I feel like those have a bit more flex. My Watt is definitely like the stiffest of the 3 here. Because of my breeze out here, I'm gonna go a little bit more hyzer on this if I can. Yeah, you can see that wind is still causing that disc to turn over. And my glow glitch, let's see what we can do here. Wow, big sweeping turn out of that one. I feel like both with the glitch and the Watt, they were turning over so much that they were kind of getting down to the ground, where that glow, the stability, and it was almost showing, it almost like, I feel like with some glow discs, you lose glide with the stability. But in this case, that actually aided in the glide because it was stabling up, maybe fighting that wanting to turn into this headwind. And it ended up like, it almost ended up giving it like more glide. That thing carried. I think we'll open with the Watt this time just to get a feel for wind. Here we go. And you can see that thing's like so straight. I really like that Watt. Okay, regular glitch, 152. Yeah, and there again is my form. Just showing, I mean, it's great because obviously a disc like this, when it shows the flaws in your release, like I felt like I released that on a slight hyzer and it's still turning over. Now the wind out here, as I mentioned, it's a bit of a tailwind, but it's kind of swirling like left over here. So, you know, maybe once it starts to catch an edge, it's gonna push it a little bit with that 7 glide, but it is a great disc for showing flaws in your game for sure. Wow, that is like effortless distance. My friends back in Ontario would call this a Murph. There's no one out in this field at all trying to throw. And there's a man slowly walking directly where I'm throwing. Murphy's Law. I mean, so straight and a little fade at the end. You can see that thing just wanted to fall at the end there. Wow. It's pretty straight. Now I've got a little tailwind out here right now. Changed locations. I feel like that park was just really open, really windy, and it doesn't make sense to me to film a review of a disc in conditions that I'm not going to throw that disc in. And you know, I know for a glitch for me, it being a touchier disc as it is, I'm just not going to throw that disc in that situation. So getting out here, we do have a little tailwind, but this is kind of a calmer area where I'm filming right now, and pretty nice to get this thing out and actually kind of giving it a fair throw and having it like hold that straight line. Kind of, I'm getting the flight out of this glitch that I kind of wished or hoped that I was going to get out of like a standard glitch. So this glitch seems like it's got some like built-in correction for my poor form. I mean, so straight, floaty, glidey, all the things you think a glitch is, that thing's flying beautifully. All right, so I'm a huge fan. This is kind of I pursued this disc hoping that it was gonna be kind of all the things that I'm seeing out here in a calmer environment with a little bit of tailwind. This disc is holding lines that I wanted it to, and I was hoping that this disc would be that. I love the 7 glide. You know, I think about a disc like this in certain situations, one being, say I'm down low, I'm under some branches, and I really need that glide. But sometimes if you're like patent pending or you got some sort of weird stance, getting this thing out like purely level may not be like doable completely. So having a little bit of built-in forgiveness, like if I'm on a patent pending and I've got to reach out and this thing kind of comes out on a little bit of an ante, to know that it would at least flatten out, maybe even fight if I didn't throw it hard. I mean, obviously right now I've been throwing most of these, not full power, but you know, 50, 60%, 70%, somewhere in there. So, you know, to think about a shot where, you know, I'm in a situation where I've got to give this thing like a bit more of a touch and I'm just trying to get straight. I thought that was my wife. Thought I was in trouble. I'm supposed to be home 5 minutes ago. All right, anyone else done that before? Leave a comment down below if you got home late from disc golf. I don't get home late from disc golf rounds. I get home late from content. So here we go. But if I'm doing something touchy, this thing will probably have a little fade in the end of it. Now, I got that thing kind of nosed up and a little bit anteed, so it really just kind of like glided to the ground. But to be able to dial in a glitch, when I first bought my glitch, I loved playing catch with it, but I felt like I had to be really touchy with it. And it felt like, you know, even from a disc like a Proxy, for example, that's an understable disc, I felt like I had to like kind of adjust my release a little bit, which again, highlights the flaws in my own technique, in my own game. But this disc feels like it gives me like a little bit of forgiveness, and it's kind of the glitch that I wanted it to be. Is it a watt? I don't think so. I think it's different enough, but I also feel like it's much closer to a watt, which is what I was hoping for. Holy gosh, why do people watch this stuff? I don't know. Okay, wrapping this one up, I want to say a huge thank you, as always, for watching. Leave comments down below if you've got an Eclipse glitch and if you're liking it so far. For me, it's magic. I am going to be getting my hands on the 162. So again, 4 grams, is it a huge difference? Probably not, but I am kind of curious to see how they compare. Thanks, as always, for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe. My name is Ryan. This is Local. We are local.